Dinah salutes the Old West and movie cowboys. And look who's riding the range with her. The king of the cowboys, Roy Rogers. And with Roy, in one of their rare appearances as the most famous Western musical group in movie history, the Sons of the Pioneers. Movie stunt expert Dennis Matalone creates an emergency for Robert Fuller when he shows him an explosively good time. Actor-sculptress George Montgomery recreates the flavor of the Old West through his realistic bronze sculptures. Tom Brett tells about his favorite cowboy television shows. And the word saloon takes on a new meaning with the recipes prepared by the famous Beverly Hills restaurant, The Saloon. And now, if Horace Greeley were here today, he would say, "Go west, young man, and tell everybody, here's Dinah!"
Glad you're here. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects. I would venture to say this is one of the most exciting shows we've ever had because we're going to talk about the Old West. I used to love to watch the old Westerns, didn't you? On television. I still do. And you know, nothing has changed. Jesse James in the early days used to hold up the banks in the grocery stores. Now the grocery stores hold you up. What about fair play? I wouldn't want to do a Western show without my first guest. He came west on wagon train and then helped tame the West in Laramie. And I think he went into the emergency show so he could treat all the wounds from the other two shows. Here's Six-Gun Robert Fuller. Six guns for a tennis racket, huh?
Oh, yeah, I did. I just got back from Princeton, New Jersey. I played in the Prince tennis tournament back there for the Boy Scouts of America.
The Prince tennis tournament? Is that the one
yes,
where
I
you
used the large Prince. Now, watch me. I'm getting
You're fudging.
I'll tell you, that racket picked my game up 30%. I'm not kidding. It's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, it is
something else. And you don't feel guilty using it?
Not a bit. No, I did for a while, but now some of the pros are using it, and all my contemporaries are, so I'm going to use it too. It helps. It really does. You know, I wanted to say something, Dinah. It was so neat. You were talking to the audience out here and mentioned the fact that how great the old Westerns were, and I heard a nice round of applause about that, and that's nice to hear because, you know, we haven't had any Westerns on the air in almost 10 years. I do, too, and how the West as one is coming back and seeming to do well, and I would like to see some more. I'd like to do another Western TV series.
Yeah.
I think people are getting a little tired of hospital shows, cops and robbers, and all the bad news we get to watch.
I really do. That's good. I think the success of How the West Was Won is because people want to go back and really know where our beginnings were.
It really is escapism and pure entertainment. It really is. You don't have to relate to it. You don't say, well, that's going on today in my town, you know, and it doesn't scare you. And it's kind of fun to sit back and watch.
You miss
I miss them, yes, I do, very much.
You did a lot of your own stunts.
Yes, I did. I started out as a stuntman, which we've discussed before. I guess I probably did about, maybe 95% of all my stunts on Laramie and Wagon Train, and really enjoyed them. Why not? I did it, almost for nothing before I became an actor on the series.
Wow. Those stunts are for real when you do your own, and yet the fellows who make them happen, you couldn't possibly do all the mechanisms to go on. The stunt man is...
It's a lot more sophisticated today. It really is. A good stunt man today can go a lot longer without getting hurt than we did in the old days. Sometimes we would get hurt because we didn't have the equipment and the safety equipment that they do have today, or the technology.
But you need a stunt man. I mean,
you've got to have a stunt man.
They have a tremendous function, and one of the finest is with us today. His name is Dennis Matalone. And did I pronounce it right?
Dennis Matalone. Could I just say one thing? Oh, somebody knows about that. Every now and then, as with motion picture and television stars, maybe every 4 or 5 or 8 years, one comes along that is really fantastic, and people take to him and like him. This young man that you're going to bring out, and I'm so glad you're having him on your show, has made such a hit with me and a lot of my friends. He's a young man. He's 23 years old. He's one of the best stuntmen in the business today. And believe me, within the next 4 or 5 years, he will have his own television series as an actor. I promise you that. He's that good.
Gee, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, he's already done daring
he
things
does a
like
lot of
Gypsy Warriors on CBS, and he's done Kojak and Quincy and a lot of the stunts.
He's
for the
doing
new
small parts and lots of stunt work. But
the new Wild Wild West show with Bob Conner.
well, that's Baba Black Sheep. He
Baba
works
Black
on
Sheep.
Baba with Robert
Oh,
Conrad.
I thought it was I thought they did a special on the Wild.
Oh, they
Wild.
may have. Yeah, I don't know.
I think he did that, and he's worked on FM and Avalanche and 2 Minute Warning. He's here to show us how it's done. Mr.
Good.
Dennis Madelon. Hey, Dennis, what's the toughest stunt you ever did?
Getting engaged.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have to say a stunt that we have a clip on called Avalanche, and I did a 80-foot high fall into 2 stacks of boxes under snow.
80-foot high fall into 2 stacks of boxes?
That's the high one.
It really aired me out.
Can we see that? I think we have a clip of it.
Yeah, we have a clip of 3 stunts that we've done. And the next stunt is me hanging off a cable. I had to unhook myself from 80 feet and drop into a 10 by 10 square.
80 feet?
80, it looks like 80 feet, no doubt about it.
Oh, what did you fall into there?
Into 2 stacks of boxes. I couldn't eat pretzels for a year. And this is a scene where I get knocked through the window in slow motion. This really aired me out. It was a near miss with a car, and by accident, the whole set came down on top of me.
Is that from Avalanche?
Yeah.
Look at that. That's fantastic.
Oh,
Really nice.
wow. You know, those guys are taking the chances, and it looks real, and it is real. And no 2 ways about it. I mean, you're prepared, but it is real.
Yeah.
Do you ever get hurt? Badly hurt?
It's amazing. All the years before I became an actor and did stunts, I never got hurt. I never got hurt on Laramie. The second year of Wagon Train, in a very simple stunt where I had to be thrown. And it's funny, it was Hal Needham who was in the fight with me, and Hal Needham
old Hal.
was a good friend of all of ours and one of the best stuntmen in the business, and now one of the finest directors
right.
around. He and I were fighting together, and he had to throw me over his shoulder onto a breakaway table. It was about 6:45 in the evening. At 7 o'clock, we go on overtime. We threw the stunt one time. I hit the edge of the table, and I didn't cream it out enough like I wanted to. I really wanted to tear it to pieces, so I said to the assistant director, can we do it one more time? And he said, yeah, if you can set it up in 5 minutes and do it, we've got the time. So we set it up. Somebody made a mistake and put a real chair in. We had one breakaway table, 3 breakaway chairs, 1 real chair. I go through the air, and I weigh 175 pounds, and I came down on the back of the real chair right here, broke my ankle in 3 places, and my main bone, the leg, in 1 place. I knew it was broken before I hit the ground.
Wow.
And,
Is those the boots and the gun that you wore in Laramie?
These are the boots. This is the gun, bell, and gun that I wore in Laramie back in 1959, 60, 61,
Wow.
and 62.
Well, Robert, speaking of stunts,
Dennis. Are you okay? Dennis. Dennis?
Why would you do that to me?
it was getting kind of boring talking about your boots, broken leg, and a gun. And,
Yeah, but I don't like to be hit over the head with a whiskey bottle.
did it hurt?
It hurt a lot.
Why do you think that hurt? Try this.
Wait a minute. Dennis? Wait a minute. There was no boxes and no mattresses over. Look, how do you feel?
I feel terrible, and we have a stunt for you.
That was good, Dave. Very good. Very good. That's the way to argue that.
Break up or anything.
No, that was a prop table, but it seemed like we should use it because we didn't have a pad to put underneath, so we used a hard
Something.
table.
And a
Breakaway
hard
bottles.
floor.
And a
You
lot
didn't
of
hurt yourself,
flowers.
did you?
No, I'm in good shape. We're supposed to take bruises.
Oh, I see.
You want to get even?
I want to get even bad.
How do you want to get even,
I
bad?
want to blow up Robert on an air ramp 10 feet in the air through a picture window. Now,
You want what?
I want to blow him up 10 feet in the air through a picture window.
See you on the next show, Don.
No, wait. Wait a minute. You're going to be a good sport about this, aren't you? You're not going to hurt him, are you?
I'll hurt him about as much as he hurt me.
Just now. Oh.
No, he's all right.
You feel like being blown up to the nose.
Well, I'll tell you, I know I'm on the Dinah Show because anything can happen to me when I do the Dinah Show.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'll get Kevin and Randy to stand by with the whole emergency
Oh, good.
squad.
I'm afraid I might need it.
And right after this, we'll see Bob Fuller blown up. Oh. I'm here with Dennis Matalone and Bob Fuller, and as promised, well, tell them what you're going to do.
Well, what we're going to do is put him on an air ramp, which is a device we use for explosions, at about 1,900 pounds of pressure, which is really dangerous. But we know that you're in shape and you can handle it.
Really, do you ever have any stuff that didn't turn out exactly the way you planned?
Well, I'm sure this one won't. But anyway, now this one will turn out pretty good, Bob.
I hope so.
Does Patty know you're fooling around like this?
She has no idea. And you know what scares me is I beat him out of $30 in a poker game the other day, and he might just try to get even there.
And you threw him over a table just now. You're not going to hurt Bob.
No, I would never do that.
Please don't
I
hurt
mean, I
him.
like losing $30 at poker games.
Explain to me why he's got the gloves on.
That's just to protect him from cutting his hand, because the
On
breakaway
all that glass.
Right, he's going to be going through about 100 pounds of breakaway glass, which is pretty dangerous. And
You
100 pounds of, why am I doing this?
I don't know. Did you take chances when you were a little kid? A lot of them.
I guess so, yeah.
Did you?
I did. I always climbed up real high in places I shouldn't have been. And, yeah.
Yeah, I used to climb trees about 40 feet, but before I climbed them, I'd chop them down about 3/4 of the way. I'd climb the top, rock them, and break them to the ground, and just really crash.
You were always
Crazy.
a little kookaloo.
Dennis the Menace. That's what it was.
Well, there really is no risk involved here. I mean,
No, I'll tell you, between the air ramp, the air explosion, the dynamite that we're using, and the breakaway window, if everything goes perfect, you have a 50-50 chance of pulling out of this.
Okay, now let's get very serious. This is true. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being high, what is the risk factor in a stunt like this?
You're looking at 9.5, easy.
No, 9.5. Good.
Good.
good. Okay.
So there's one half. There really
One
is
half-
one
one-
half.
one
Okay,
half
so
of-
we could on television
One
right
of these
now
things you got-
do that one half of
No, you're not going to.
Our elbow pads, and we're going to put them on you just
Okay.
for safety.
You were.
So when you hit the ground really hard, it doesn't hurt much.
You're not going to hit the ground really hard. You're going to hit those bales of hay over there.
Well,
They hurt
he
too.
said 1,900 pounds, so I don't know. That,
You're gonna go-
sometimes that could throw you 12, 14 feet.
So easy.
There's 4
What
or
is
5
that?
guys over there with their hands
This
like
is a tail pad. This way you slip behind where you sit and eat.
Hey, give me a tail pad.
This will protect you in case you hit on your buttock.
Okay.
He's not going to hit him. He's not going to hurt himself. Now, what's the position? How do you do it? Why do you...
What we're going to
Should
do?
I
Yeah.
assume the
Flip over here.
position?
And what you're going to do is sit on the air ramp in a tuck position.
Why?
Well, this way it keeps them all in one piece.
All in one...
When I blow up, you mean I'm all in one piece?
Yeah.
He's all in one piece. If he... and if he doesn't tuck, he could be in 2 pieces? Is that what you mean?
2 or 3. You could really get her. Stop, Robert.
Yeah.
Get in tight.
Okay.
Put your feet on top.
On the ramp
Yeah, on
or on
the
the
ramp.
wood?
Can I have your watch?
On the metal or the wood?
You want to... Can I have your timer or your watch, or you got a watch on?
It's
it?
okay. What do you want to do?
I just don't want... I didn't want anything to happen to your watch. I was, take care of your valuables.
What she was saying.
Yeah, I took it off.
This is
and
your
broke it.
Timex. I mean, you know that could be a living commercial. I'm not going to let it happen.
Dennis, tell me again. Feet on
Okay,
the
what
wood
we're
or on
going
the
to
metal?
do is sit you on the air ramp. You're going to pull into a tuck position. Put your hands over here like so.
Yeah, okay. On the metal or the wood?
On the metal.
Okay.
Push them in tight. Let your heels touch.
Okay.
And lean forward. That's the main important thing. Cheat up a little further.
Cheat up?
Cheat up that way.
Okay.
And you got to have this leaning forward into the chest. That is perfect.
And all you have to do is think about that Miami, in the hot tub and that kind of thing.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Okay, we'll
Now,
do that again.
what we're going to use now is just a hat. This will keep the glass out of messing up your hair.
Oh.
Okay, we should be ready.
Okay, so I'm going to go over here. Bob?
Yeah?
Hey, listen, you know I'm crazy about you.
Dinah?
And
It's been fun throughout these years, I want to
it
tell
really
you.
has. We've done a lot of good shows together, old buddy.
I know.
And I'll say hello to Patty for you and everything. We'll play tennis and think of you every Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
Good. Why are you holding your knees, Bob?
What, honey?
Why are you holding your knees?
Because I'm scared to death.
Okay, you're in the cheat position.
Am I? Am
Gotta
I okay?
Move up a little further.
A little further?
Yeah. And lean forward a lot. Gotta lean forward. Now I'm gonna give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then I'm gonna press it.
Okay, babe.
So lean forward some more.
What?
Lean forward a little more. Okay, you're
I can't
looking
lean
good.
forward anymore.
When you're ready, I'll give you the cue.
I'm ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I need some mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. I need mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
How does that go again?
You blow on my lips and I push on your chest.
That was great.
Really good.
Oh, that was really good.
Sit down.
Really good.
Would you like to relive that shattering experience?
Oh, I would love to.
We've got it on slow motion here.
Wow. Wow.
Good
Look.
heavens.
Hey, I went a little high. Look at that.
Yeah, you
That
did.
is
Then
really wild.
You hit the top there. Look at
Beautiful.
That's fantastic.
Look at this. Robert, that is great. Oh, wow.
that. That is so
Now I'm starting
good.
to act right there. Watch.
Yeah. Oh, did you know, did anything hurt when you were doing that?
No, of course not. Hey, that's pretty good.
Piece of cake.
That's fantastic.
That is fantastic.
That's great.
I mean, what went through your mind? Were you scared?
Well, not scared. I was apprehensive.
Well, once you got in there, what were you thinking when you hit the
I was
spring?
just thinking, make it look good as you go through the glass.
Did you really? Ma'am. Let's see it again. Good heavens.
Really?
Hey, it's better this time. Thank you.
Good, buddy.
Listen, that'll teach you about throwing that first punch. You know that?
I'll never do.
No. That's really great. We'll be right back. What a treat. Dennis Manlong. Don't remember that name. I wonder if he'll change his name when he goes in the movie.
Oh, I hope not.
No.
Good
He just-
Italian name.
Sure, he won't have to. You're a fan of my next guest.
Oh, very big fan.
I want to talk a little bit about him before we bring on. I doubt that any of you have ever heard of such glorious musical groups as the Rocky Mountaineers, the International Cowboys, or Jack and his Texas Outlaws. You have? Well, good for you, but that was just the grassroots beginning of one of the most durable and beautiful sounding acts in show business. And it was also the beginning of one of the most successful acting careers in the whole town. A singing cowboy who became known as the King of the Cowboys, and he's still going strong. You can listen to him in his latest album, The Good Life. And you can see him Labor Day weekend with his lovely wife, Dale, at Knott's Berry Farm, August the 29th through September the 4th. But today, he's here with us with the musical group that he founded in a rare television appearance together, Roy Rogers and the Sons of the Pioneers.
Each night in my dreams, somehow it seems that I'm back where I belong. Just a country hick way back in the sticks, back where I was born. Now the city lights and the city ways are driving me insane. I want to be
Bob went over there. Listen and listen. We'll get your fix done. While Bob, he just had.
Boy, that was fantastic. Really.
Well, thank you.
Enjoyed it.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Well, thank
and yodeling, nobody, and you look so good.
Well, thank you.
You and Bob have known each other.
Yes.
I was worried about how I was going to sit down with these
Well,
guns
you
out here.
can I hold your belt and guns?
It's a little different than a horse, you know.
Yeah, I would say.
I think I'll take them off instead of squirming around here and being uncomfortable.
You're safe around here.
How's that?
That's it. They're real. You were old shooting buddies together.
Yeah, we've done quite a bit of trap and skeet. That's T-R-A-P and S-K-E-E-T.
Exactly.
I had a excuse me.
No, go ahead.
Situation. The reason I had to spell it out, I had a situation happen. Went to Arizona, and a young columnist met me there, and he had a little interview. And when I came out to write up the next morning, Roy Rogers keeps in shape by shooting crap and skiing.
You're kidding. That's beautiful. I love it. Well, Roy's an excellent skeet and trap shooter, and his son Dusty. We shot up in, I guess, Elko, Nevada a couple years ago. Did real good. Yeah.
Are you good?
Oh, I'm fair.
He's very good. He's
like
very good.
I'll tell you something. He's a singing cowboy. He plays the spoon. He has to sing it in German, but he's a singing cowboy. And he can play the spoons, you know, and he'll do anything, as you just saw.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think he yodels.
I saw him do that stunt a while ago. Yeah, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, that was fun to do.
You think you could teach him to yodel?
Well, there's really nothing to it, Diana. It's a break from your regular voice to a falsetto.
Yeah, see, Bob?
You know what my regular voice is.
Right. Would you like to break from your regular voice into a falsetto?
I'd try anything once.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
That's pretty good. Okay, we're way ahead.
Actually, it's just a break from there, and you have nothing to do. The tongue situation is more or less phrasing the different phrases for different type yodels. You can do it without any wiggling of anything, you know.
But first of all, you had to be able to carry a tune, don't you, to yodel?
Well, it helps sometimes.
I guess, because I can't carry a tune. You all know that.
Yeah, you can. I heard you carry one.
I can't sing
you
Happy
back.
Birthday on tune. Do that. Let me try that one again.
Yeah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
That's it.
Try that with some soup next time. You know, try super.
Now I can do that. I can play the spoons, and I really get a
Musical
guitar.
career ready for Las Vegas. Is it true you worked with the old cowboys? What is that?
I worked with a lot of different groups when I first came out here in 1930 during the Depression. To survive.
Yeah.
And the first group I worked with was a group called the Rocky Mountaineers and the International Cowboys. And after that, the Old Cowboys, and we barnstormed down through New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas.
Yeah.
That was a hungry trip.
Boy, I bet.
Yeah, it was.
You just played for food and.
Well, we got into a little town in Roswell, New Mexico, and we went on a local radio station. They hadn't been used to seeing any live talent on the radio station there, so we'd kid one another over the air what we liked to eat, and people started bringing us food, and we had it made. Because I like chicken, I like pie, and some guy liked chicken, somebody else liked this, that, or the other. We made a pretty good menu. And we borrowed a rifle from a guy, and we'd go out on the desert at night and shoot cottontails and jackrabbits and bring them into our little cabin and cook them up. They were delicious.
You didn't go hungry.
No.
You could have saved if you just hadn't laid out the menu.
You know, I've had people say, what was it like to be around during the Depression? I always say, compared to what? You know, the poor people were scraping trying to get something to eat, and the rich ones were jumping out of 10-story buildings.
Oh, that's true.
I enjoyed it.
Nobody had it good except the people who didn't realize how bad it was and had a goal in life.
I love those days, and I have something to compare with, which a lot of people don't have today, especially young people. It's kind of hard for them to relate to something like that. I used to tell my kids about these things. They'd get the fiddle out, you know.
Right.
You know, you didn't know they were the bad old days. You never thought of them.
No, that's all I knew. I was raised that way, and so it was really better than it was when I was little, you know.
And you really saw the country in those days, didn't you, Roy? You were traveling with the groups and moving around.
That barnstorming trip, boy, we went, our first engagement was Yuma, Arizona, and it was in June. It was really hot there at that time.
Yeah, it's like
And we played a little, of course, it was during the Depression, and theaters, half of them were closed, you know. And we played this little theater, and we didn't make any money in Yuma or Miami, Arizona. We got to Miami, and the copper mines were shut down. Miami, Arizona.
Yeah, that's hot, too.
And boy, you could shot a cannon right down through the middle of the theater, never hit a soul. We got to Stafford, made a few bucks, and went on to Roswell, and made up enough money on over to Lubbock, Texas, to get back to California. And we got back.
Yeah.
And
it was exciting and fun and thrilling.
Oh, I loved every minute of it. And of course, when I got back from there, I joined Jack and his Texas Outlaws, out of which out of those four groups came the Sons of the Pioneers, and that's
that memorable
yes,
moment.
Such great history.
We'll be right back. Hollywood's best-known cowboy, and the best-known cowboy all over the world. That was John Wayne. Won his Oscar in 1969 for his work in the great Western, True Grit. A long time in coming and much deserved. One of John Wayne's admirers is with us today. In fact, he did a bronze sculpture of him. These bronze sculptures were created by the man you're about to meet, an artist I happen to know quite well. The motion and the action he is able to create in bronze came from his own lifestyle as a Montana farm boy and as the star of many a Hollywood Western. His Big Daddy, George Montgomery.
For a minute there, I thought I was John Wayne. I kept standing back there. He kept talking about John Wayne. Yeah, and I thought,
I know it.
I wonder if they made a mistake. By the way, Bob, you should be able to yodel with no problem. Really?
Anybody?
You know, you could hit a high note after going through that little stunt you did with, Is everything else all right, Bob?
Everything's just fine. Everything's in working order.
Yeah, Roy and I were really worried. I was going to run out the drugstore and get something for you.
I bet you guys were worried. I heard you back
emergency
there.
squad. I have them on standby, sure.
Yeah.
Tell us about the sculptures. We've talked about
Which one are we on?
Well, let's see. We were on.
This is my wrong side, by the way, Dinah.
Would you like to sit over? Come over here. That's right.
No, wait. No.
You're right.
I figured this out after, the last
many
show.
Years,
Yeah. Dinah has her right side.
That's right.
I have my right side.
See, and I was
Roy.
perfectly willing.
Mm-hmm.
Roy,
Yeah,
would you mind if George sat over there?
Could we just test it? Could we just test it?
You'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
Roy,
See,
switch just a little bit. No, I don't want to sit on your lap, Roy.
Yeah. There.
Okay, now.
Now, look.
Is this the right side?
I
don't think so.
Really? Yeah. Whichever.
What do you folks think? Is this my best side?
That's it. Okay. Right side, wrong side, doesn't matter.
Television is very funny because you try to look back and say, hey, wait, but you can't catch yourself looking that way. So
No, it's what it's all about. You're not supposed to look. And tell us about the sculptures you brought today, because we saw the John Wayne one, which is quite
that's reminiscence of boyhood. When I was about that age, which was about 3.5 or so, the folks would put me on the horse and say, now, you go out back of the reservoir and make sure that the cattle don't break into the garden. And we had fences, but the cattle were always knocking them down. So that was one of my first sculptures. It's called Reminiscence of Boyhood.
Isn't that beautiful?
When did you do that?
And the dog there.
I started sculpting about 3.5 years ago.
Let me ask you something, because you've painted and you've sculpted and you've directed and you've acted. You've done all the things that you really... What is the most thrilling to you, really? Really?
I wish you hadn't asked that.
Really?
No.
I didn't mention anything
Anyway,
else.
Dinah, what's the most thrilling of all those things?
Those.
Well, I think, everything sort of rounds out a person. you know, building houses, making furniture, directing, producing, writing, or anything. And I think the thing that's going to last longer than any of my friends or myself, and that's the sculpture.
I know. You know, everybody wants to leave, would love to think that there's some little portion of you left to be remembered. And you really have a memorial there. Roy has recordings and movies, and Bob has movies. And
Museum, too.
And the museum. You know,
Roy has a fantastic museum, and God, what taste he has, too. You know, he has a dining set that I made, you know, years ago.
Well, you know, we used to live kind of backed up together.
That's right.
Well, no, you lived on one street, and we lived right straight through to the other one in Encino several years ago. And George was making some beautiful furniture, and we had a big family, and we needed a bigger table than normal, you know. So he made us a table, and it is beautiful. It weathered the storm of 9 children, and Dale and I, when the kids all married off, the table was a little big for us. So when I built a museum in 1965, 66, I made a special room for it, and I put it in. I got George's name here, made by George Montgomery, and I wouldn't take anything in the world for it.
Tell them about your first job in Hollywood.
Well, I think you fellas will relate to what happens the next day you arrive in Hollywood. Well, mine was very strange. The very next day, I went to work on a Greta Garbo picture, Charles Boyer, and I went out as sort of just a writer. And being a very eager beaver from Montana, I was in front of the camera every time the assistant said, "Let's get someone up here to line up on." I was right there. So I end up in a stunt. The first thing that we had to do was ride up a staircase sort of covered with snow and ice and ramshack the palace of Queen, or Madame Valeska. And
I think did you bring a photograph of
Yeah.
yourself in the Russian costume?
yeah, there it is.
There. Can we get...
That was 1937.
Good heavens.
That little
How's that?
400
That,
Yeah.
was it really, Roy?
Yeah, 1 month.
Yeah. That's really something.
Anyway, that's the that's the wardrobe they gave me at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer for the
They
for the
loaned
part.
it. If I
Yeah,
may.
they loaned it.
But then you did a lot of
Well, I think everything I did after that was a stunt.
neat tricks. Huh? We've got another photo that I want you to see, that I want you to explain to us. Yeah.
Oh, that's Gene Autry.
Yeah.
By the way, Roy, you sound an awful lot like Gene Autry.
No.
How did he get in here?
But you've got to see
brunette right there?
That's Smiley.
Yeah.
But look way
I'm
in
the
the back.
tall hat in the back.
Look at that.
Remember Joe Kane, Roy?
Sure do.
Okay,
Well,
director.
yeah, he was the one that said, "Look, I can get you into a Gene Autry picture, but you've got to get in the background or grow a beard." Now, this is before I could grow a beard. I think like John D. Anyway, so I had to stand in the background.
Yeah. There he is.
Who's
way in the
that?
back.
Smiley Burnett?
Smiley Burnett and Frankie
Yeah.
Marvin and...
All
Well,
these,
who's the fellow in the...
all
And there's
these little
Gene.
Republic actors, weren't they the people who
Oh,
really...
yeah,
got
we
it?
had a regular...
all of them
show
were in our
with-
pictures,
Yeah,
too.
we've got another photo here I want you to explain to you.
There you are.
Oh, this is the Lone Ranger, and this is the serial that I made in 1937. As a matter of fact, I think we finished 2 days before you started your pictures,
Yeah.
Roy.
But these are all the Lone Rangers together?
Well, there were 5 of us in the same series, and the audience was not to know who the Lone Ranger was until the last episode. I was killed in the 6th.
Oh,
Yeah,
poor
went
baby.
right to Fox.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Yeah, no. Did you meet Roy there? Is that when you
Yeah.
first met Roy?
I met him at Republic, and I think you worked in some of my pictures, too.
Yeah, they told me to stand in the back.
Also yours. I didn't have anything to do with that, George.
We met at Republic.
I was going to say, when did
That's
you two
amazing.
first meet?
What, 20 years ago or so? Bob?
Exactly 20 years ago this year, I was doing a Cimarron City with you. Before Laramie, before Wagon Train.
Really?
Yes.
I remember
George, I
Sunrise.
must say, was so beautiful as a star of a television series to young people that came on. He was one of the few stars that would talk to new people and really make you feel at ease, and I really appreciate that to this day.
Bob, I'm glad that you talk to me now that you're the big star. I've
You
gone
big
through
so
3
sorry.
depressions.
We'll be right back.
He just said he's so hungry he can't
breakfast at 7 o'clock this morning.
Okay, start in, honey. Go on.
Good. Golly.
Oh, it's so good.
That's what I have to do. Well, this one is still live, isn't it?
That's right. It's still...
The only way to have
You're kidding.
I've seen him get up and walk away. Wasn't worse than this one.
Now we're having Irish coffee. You just go right ahead. Don't let these
I take a glass
starving actors.
of champagne tulip glass, and I dip this in lemon juice and then in white sugar, and I crystallize it over a flame.
You got any water or anything to cool it down? Would you like another bite of
There you
steak,
are,
Dinah, or are you just...
I'm coasting.
You're
I love it.
coasting.
I'm saving it.
Yeah.
Once we have this flaming, which it doesn't want to do today,
Roy, delicious.
Well, it's
This is only lunch, you know, fellows.
not going to break that glass.
oh no.
It's lunch for me because I
See, you notice the sugar is melting in
looks
foreign
like,
candy.
I see.
Like Angus, don't you think?
They're still
live.
amazing, trying to find out what kind of beef it is. Don't talk about it in such graphic terms. It's a steak.
Boy, you sure
Look at that.
feed good
You
here.
can't see the flames, but this is flaming, and
Yes.
you pour it back and forth, get it really nice and hot.
And it won't break your glass.
Oh no.
What kind of glass is that?
Just regular glassware.
Regular beautiful glass crystal. Crystal glassware.
All right, now you have your hot Irish whiskey. To this you add a little brown sugar for sweetness.
Is this the sort of thing you used to have up on the ranch, honey?
Yeah, this is what we used to make for breakfast.
All the time. That's the reason it came out so strong.
Getting
up
real
there.
stinking by lunchtime.
Then you put some boiling
Loved every
hot,
minute.
Boiling hot coffee.
strong coffee.
This is the stuff I made for you, Dinah, back in, you know,
No,
a
you
couple days ago.
You never cooked anything like this in your life.
Ben, steady now.
A little cinnamon on top.
This is Bob
Now,
Fuller.
that is-
I'm not through with that. I'm not through with that.
Oh, you're not?
Oh, no, I got the
Oh.
most important step to go.
Oh, I see.
And please, since I put a lot of thought into this,
Yeah.
use fresh whipped cream.
Fresh whipped cream, none of that.
Oh, my God.
And then you will have a fantastic excuse for you.
Oh, thank you. Fresh cream for me? Well, Roy, how much of this can you enjoy if you're on a diet?
Don't bother me.
Take that. Listen, we're almost at the close of the show, and I want to thank you, Big Dad.
Well, I want you to thank me.
I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. It is such a treat. And got a chance to see your sculpture again. I want the whole world to see what you're doing now. Thank you, Tom Bresh.
You're doll.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Bob. You're always such fun. And
You always make my day when I
thank-
get to do your show.
Well, hey, anytime. I like to make your day. Roy Rogers is over there with the Sons of the Pioneers, and he used to close their show with their theme song, Happy Trails. And we thought maybe he would close our show with the Sons of the
right.
Pioneers with a Happy Trail to you. Roy?
Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds if we're together? Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails to you. Till we meet
Merv welcomes Bob Hope, Charlton Heston, and Don Rickles today at 4 on TV 12, and today at noon join Walter Cryan and Hank Bouchard for the latest news, sports, and weather from News Center 12.
Welcome around here.
Come on over here.
Great to see you. How are you?
Oh,
See you.
Super. Good
That-
to see you.
that sounded so good. I didn't know you used to be a stuntman before I just said it on the air.
You didn't?
No.
Yeah, I was. Well, they called me Hollywood's youngest stuntman. This is like, I started out at a place called Corriganville. Remember Corriganville? Ray Corrigan and all that. And I started out there when I was like 3 years old. And they started.
What kind of cowboys did you double as a...
Oh, I was just a little bitty one.
No, I.
teeny weeny little stuntman?
Teeny weeny. No, I started out really at an early age because my dad didn't want to get a babysitter. Is how it all started. He just took me out to the ranch, and I used to watch him shoot all these pictures. I loved the westerns and the cowboys, and it was really great.
Did you ever run into the fellow that trained Bob and...
I'm talking about Chuck Courtney. You know Chuck very well.
Yes.
Thank
What's
you,
his name?
Diane. Chuck Courtney.
Chuck Courtney.
Roy probably knows Chuck because he played Dan Reed, the Lone Ranger's nephew, on the Lone Ranger series. I met Chuck 27, 28 years ago. Chuck taught me how to stunt fight, and he is responsible for Dennis Matalone, the young stuntman that we saw earlier. And Chuck is the stunt coordinator on Baa Black Sheep right now and works very closely with Bobby Conrad. They're in Kentucky now doing Centennial.
But now he's also did the stunts for your movie Donner Pass.
Yes.
Donner Party.
I just finished a picture, a 2-hour movie for NBC. Got back in the saddle again, which was really neat. And then to have this culminate with this show, which is really nice. We did the Ordeal by Hunger book on the Donner Party, which I think most of the people are familiar with. It'll be on the air in September, and it's going to be an incredible show. I think it's the best part I've ever had in my life, and I'm really pleased. I
do you
swear,
play
I
in
really
it?
do. I play James Reed, the English
scout?
immigrant. Yeah, sort of. Johnny Doucette, who we all know,
That's the
plays
story about
Roy.
the Donner Pass with
The Donner Pass, yeah,
When
Sierra
you're stuck there in
Nevada.
the snow and-
It hasn't been done in
What-
years, and we have done a fantastic production on it. Jim Conway directed it, and I think it's excellent. I really feel good about it.
David, you got fans?
September.
Tell me something. Have you always been a Western fan? Did you always love the Western?
I loved them because, well, being out at the ranch, I had such a jump on a lot of kids, you know, because I used to watch them film Rin Tin Tin, Have Gun Will Travel, Gunsmoke, and all those. Some of my favorites, like, I used to like The Rebel. Remember that with...
Sure. Nick Adams.
Yeah.
Nick Adams.
Johnny Cash did the theme song on that. Do you remember that?
Sure. I don't remember how it went, but I remember that Johnny
let me show you.
play a little bit of
He
it.
did, Stewie! I gotta get my Johnny Cash voice. Johnny Umar was a rebel.
Yeah.
He roamed